Welcome to another edition of the Monday Night Wars, this time on the WCW side, week 80. This is the 85th episode of Nitro, but the 80th week they go at it head-to-head with WWF. Nitro beats Raw for the 42nd week in a row. The scores were 3.4 to 2.7. So through 80 weeks now, Nitro has 61 wins, WWF has 17 wins, and they've drawn twice. A 61-17-2 record for World Championship Wrestling, so they're clearly in control. This is the Nitro with the 3.4 TV rating. For the first hour of Nitro, it's usually Larry Zbyszko and Tony Schiavone, but this one's a little bit different because it's a 1 hour show because of the NBA playoffs from 1997. So, it's just Schiavone, Heenan, and Tenay, I believe, for the first... Oh, no, it's Zbyszko, Heenan, and Schiavone. No Tenay for this episode. We open with a shot of Flair defeating Vader at Starrcade at A93. They were just showing Ric Flair's greatest highlights in WCW at the time before the show went on the air. Monday Night Nitro is live on TNT from the Norfolk, Virginia on April the 28th, 1997. Schiavone says, "Welcome to the special 1 hour edition of Nitro." Flair and Piper come to the commentary table, and Piper is all jacked. Flair goes, "Hot rod!" And they talk trash to against the NWO and say that they don't have to wait for Slamboree. They want the NWO, and they want them tonight on the special 1 hour edition of Monday Night Nitro. Then the video package for Nitro goes off, and Nitro goes on the air like it usually does with Pyro, with their opening entrance theme, and so on and so forth. But there was a special message before the entrances, and that's Flair and Piper with an open invitation and an open challenge to the New World Order for later in the telecast. Dean Malenko opens the show with defending his U.S. title against Prince Aoki. And Schiavone calls everyone you know. He says, "Call everyone you know and tell them that to watch Nitro because Flair and Piper are challenging the NWO tonight." Hollywood Hogan isn't in there because he's filming movies in Hollywood, but they do challenge the NWO outside of Hollywood Hogan. Jeff Jarrett in a cut screen promo while the match is about to go on between Prince Aoki and Dean Malenko. Jeff Jarrett cut in the cut screen on the one side says at Slamboree he's going to earn Malenko's respect as they face off. In the ring, Malenko torquing the arm of Prince Aoki to begin the match, and Prince Aoki with a reverse torque to the arm of Malenko's as he comes back with the drop toe hold into a reverse chin lock does Dean Malenko. Prince Aoki keeps moving with chain wrestling against the man of 1,000 holds, a leapfrog, then Dean with a high thrust kick scores him a near fall. Malenko hit a sunset flip and a resounding power slam with a Texas Cloverleaf submission hold, and Malenko's Texas Cloverleaf is enough to get him the submission victory to retain the U.S. title to open the show on Nitro against Prince Aoki. I gave the match 2.5 stars. Next up, we have another match. It's 6 of the NWO defending his Cruiserweight Championship against Juventud Guerrera. Juventud Guerrera ducks underneath and floats over the NWO's top Cruiserweight 6 to the floor. A high spinning heel kick and a suicide dive to 6. And then he throws Juventud back into the ring. Then a spin kick to Juvi followed by a 2 count. A top rope Hurricane Rana from the top turnbuckle by Juventud Guerrera, air Juvi, but he only gets a 2 count on 6. A high vertical snapshot suplex by 6, and he poses with the NWO symbols. And then a little crotch chop to the top. NWO were known to do the crotch chop. It's a click thing more than it was a DX thing or an NWO thing first. It was more of a click thing. So a submission victory gets him done as he lays down on the mat, and it's called the Buzz Kill. So 2 submission victories to kick off Nitro. First Malenko to defend the U.S. title against Prince Aoki. Then 6 to defend the Cruiserweight title against Juventud Guerrera. So 6 defends the Cruiserweight title successfully with a submission move called the Buzz Kill, laying down on the canvas floor against Juventud Guerrera. I gave that match 2 stars and a quarter. Nash, Hall, and 6 then come out to the NWO theme, and they kick off commentary off the commentary, and they take over the broadcast as Hall says, "We're sitting in the back, and we heard those 2 dinosaurs talk," Flair and Piper, talk about how they want some of the Wolf Pack. That's one of the first times Hall refers to NWO as the Wolf Pack. Hall says anybody cares about what you have to say, and everyone here in Norfolk is here to see the nWo. And then he poses, and Nash says they love us. Other stipulation, Nash says that at Slamboree, if Charlotte, if they win, then they get 75% of the gate, which is a large amount, if anyone's wondering. Then they key off commentary, and the normal commentary take their regular spot at the announce table here on the show. And it's Chris Benoit versus Lord Steven Regal next as the Horseman theme hits, as Benoit and Woman come to the ring. Benoit will be in contrast to Styles against the man in Regal, the Lord Steven Regal, in the match right now. This is a mat match, but he'll be in a death match at Slamboree against Meng and Charlotte at Slamboree 97. Benoit with a clothesline as they have the far out camera for this match. And it's weird because a few months before this, when Benoit fought Steven Regal, they had a far cam watch that match too. So I don't know what it is about Benoit versus Regal, but they like to do the far cam shots whenever these two face each other. Benoit with the clothesline and went for a headbutt, but there was interference. Sullivan came to the ring and fights Benoit, so Benoit wins by DQ here. Sullivan and the Dungeon of Doom attack Benoit, and Nancy begs for Kevin to stop as Jacqueline even gets involved with Meng and Jimmy Hart. They all get involved in the entrance aisle. I gave the match a star as Benoit won DQ from early on, and as the Dungeon of Doom continue their feud with the Crippler. Then we go to a backstage nWo promo. The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order, and it's Randy Savage and Liz talking trash about DDP and Kimberly. One of the best nWo promos for Savage, talking trash about the duo Liz. They're in black and white, Savage is on crutches. He says that Kimberly's got class with a capital K because she likes the Macho Man Randy Savage, and Savage says that Kimberly's been dreaming about the Macho Man Randy Savage. That wasn't a very good impression. Usually I can do a Savage voice, but just today I just don't know. I just can't really do it right now. But she says he's got class with a capital K. And so that does the promo there, as they continue to talk trash about DDP and Kimberly. And then Macho Man just says, I am your master. That's what he says as well. Man, I can't do the voice today. That was the first for everything, I guess. Not that I always had the best impression, but I had a pretty decent one, I thought. Not today, though. Something with the throat. Luger and the Giant versus the Amazing French Canadians with the Colonel Robert Parker. Carl Roulette and Jacques Rougeau take on Luger and the Giant, who have a ton of credibility and a ton of momentum, too, in the tag division as they just dominate. And they just dominated more. This was a decent squash match. I gave it a star and a half. Luger and the Giant were in trouble. Giant needed the hot tag. He came in with big boots. And then while the Giant choke slammed one of them, Luger torture racked the other. And that's how they get their victory. I rated it a star and a half. Steve Mongo McMichael with Deborah takes on the Barbarian, the fifth match of the night and the last match, as it's just an hour episode of Nitro. Steve McMichael with a power back body drop to the Barbarian. Hard rights and a corner splash to the Barbarian, who then hits Mongo with a big boot. Barbarian Irish whips him into the steel railing barricade. Mongo fights back, but Barbarian slammed with the lower spine into Steve McMichael. Back inside the ring, the Barbarian goes for a pile driver and hits one, scoring him a near fall. A headbutt to Mongo. Mongo gets the briefcase while Deborah distracted the official, and Mongo wins with the briefcase shot. McMichael wins when he gets some help from the outside from Deborah McMichael, his wife, and the briefcase shot. I rated it a star and a quarter. The show ends with Piper and Flair calling out the nWo. Piper comes to the ring. Hogan's not on this episode. He's filming movies. Sting's not on this episode. So Flair says that other nWo members, get your ass out here. Because he goes, 6, I know I can whip your ass. He says he's been world champ more times than 6 had pieces of ass. That was funny. The nWo theme hits and they didn't come out. But all of a sudden, paper flew down from the ceiling and it said, Tradition Bites, nWo for life. That's what the papers read that came from the ceiling. Flair and the Outsiders then get into a brawl with Piper and Flair, and that's how we end the show, with a brawling in the middle of the hallway. So Nitro again beat this episode of Raw with a 3.4 to 2.7 rating. I give the show a quality rating of 6 out of 10. For a 1-hour show, it wasn't bad. They had some great Slamboree build with the Piper and Flair going after the nWo, and there were some great, decent in-ring matches with Juventud Guerrera, Chris Benoit, Lord Steven Regal, and the like, Dean Malenko, Prince Aoki. So 6 out of 10 for this Nitro. We'll see what the next week's get. I'm Brett Mix. Hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying the Monday Night War reviews. And next week's will be back to a 2-hour episode, I do believe. I'm Brett Mix, and I'm out.